Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Sunday, November 23rd, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5-card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are the Two of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Justice card in its upright. So let's talk a little bit about continuing through this through this retrograde cycle. I know it feels really, really energetically heavy. And the thing that we keep on getting in relationality to it is a lot of the work that we see that's happening. And I need to stress this. It can feel, when we are working through retrograde energy like this, it can often feel very, very, it's interesting because it's like it's still but busy, right? There's a lot of that quietude or working into the space of quietude, but also the space of being able to recognize and identify, like finding some kind of modality of productivity through it. I like to stress that often when we're going through retrograde cycles like this, it can often feel like we're moved into like hermit mode, which is the space by which it doesn't feel like a lot's happening, or it's like the silence feels really heavy. But the space by which we are able to, and this is often like what we talk about, like we've like when we are energetically, our ability to navigate through quiet is something that is often very interesting to calibrate from, because working through quietude, you have to understand, is not a natural state, right? The ability to effectively heal from the trauma of it is what I keep on saying often can create that feeling that, and this is why we talk about the reason that meditation is so important. And it's not just necessarily meditation, but any form by which one is able to navigate the quietudinal point of the mind. Because the space by which the space by which we work through that and we feel energetically productive, instead of feeling, I keep on hearing, like, instead of feeling like quietude is oppressive, that can sometimes be difficult, especially if one carries a lot of trauma, because trauma likes to read things into quietudinal states. So the ability for us to effectively allow the context by which we're able to be energetically productive, I keep on seeing it's hard because retrograde energy like this can often create the space by which a lot of feelings come up in relationality to the past. But what's beautiful about the space by which things come up about the past is it allows the observation point. Everybody's experiencing this very, very differently. I need to stress that. For some, I'm seeing that this feels very refreshing, right? It can almost create the space of having refreshing converse. I keep on hearing it's the hard part about it, and I'll put it this way: it's either the type of energy that you're refreshing or you're rehashing. Okay, like you're like, I need to stress this. Like that's what I keep on getting. It's like refreshing or rehashing. What are you doing right now? Are you refreshing or you're rehashing? Because refreshing, I like to point out, refreshing is the ability to kind of work through something in a way that allows one to be able to see something with a different perspective or with a new observational point. It allows for a lot of healing to occur. And this is what we talk about in relationality to working through things in a way that feels like it's productive. Because rehashing is like rehashing often I keep on getting rehashing often feels like a lashing, because like it's the space by which another person isn't like looking at like isn't looking at something. It's like the space by which another person isn't looking at something in a way that feels like it's there's something that is effectively positive there, or something that you can do in a way that feels like it allows for the ability to move something forward in a healthy way. So I feel like that's what's difficult about this type of energy. It's like literally like refreshing or rehashing energy. And so I keep on seeing like make sure that you're working towards the space by which one is feeling like energetically the space by which one is able to do something in a way that allows the context to be able to articulate what one is trying to do in an effective fashion. Now, the reason I'm bringing this forward is especially for these moon relationships right now, because I want to talk about the different frequency relationship cycles we're seeing. These moon relationships, it's interesting because they're coming together right now by having a refreshing conversation, but also rehashing. Like that's what I keep on getting. They're in the meeting point of that right now. Because for a lot of those relationships, I keep on getting the message that they're healing from pedestalized partnerships. And what occurs when we're navigating and healing from pedestalized partnerships? Pedestalized partnerships can feel impossible to heal from. And you can usually tell that you're in one in the space, but that nothing you do feels like the correct thing, but another person can't articulate to you what it is that they'd like you to do. Healthy relationship does not build potential on personage. You don't build it into the context of the individual within the partnership, but rather the direction by which the relationship moves, right? And so for a lot of the energies, those experiences, like working through that, I keep on seeing, like it's hard because I almost feel like they're finally in a space by which it's energetically safe. I keep on getting the fact is like that's why it's been taking these energies so long to come together, because they feel like I keep on getting they finally feel safe to be in a space by which they can articulate upon the pain that they experience in being energetically pedestalized. And so for a lot of those relationships, I keep on seeing every time these energies, like I do something, I keep on hearing like the reason that these energies are like working through the modality, like I keep on getting every time that something happens and somebody understands the difference between a logical mistake versus another person potentially trying to project their frustration out on them. I keep on feeling like there's a lot of emotions that are coming through those experiences, right? It's a lot of, I just keep on getting, there's a lot of this emotionality that's coming through in those experiences specifically and particularly because I keep on seeing the energy and I keep on hearing it's like they're almost articulating to each other the tendency to overly apologize for things because that is the shape or the force of the trauma by which they're working to release. And I keep on seeing like they're finding a lot of that mutuality in new relationship. But I keep on saying it's an emotional time right now. That's what I keep on getting. Now, for the energy that's moving into divine union right now, and we're speaking specifically towards those temperance relationships. And you'll recall that we spoke about the fact that the temperance relationships were effectively coming together between the time of Uranus stationing retrograde up until the solstice period over the summer. Can I get one card to clarify? We've got here we've got here the Seven of Swords in its upright. And what are we seeing right now with that Seven of Swords in its upright? The Seven of Swords in its upright right now is working on energetically, I keep on getting the sanctified partnerships that are working on releasing past trauma by putting it into activation in what they can do in the present that feels like I keep on getting the same message right now. And it's a really beautiful message that keeps on coming through for a lot of these temperance relationships, which is the observation that the way that we heal from past trauma is to make the present a better place. It's to make the present the space by which the trauma of the past could not occur. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, it feels like I keep on hearing like a lot of these relationships having conversations as it relates to healthy boundaries. And the space by which they're having conversations in relationality to healthy boundaries is, I keep on seeing the energetic spot by which they're articulating upon. And I love this too, because they're working through the caveat of saying what feels, and it's the absolute opposite of what the energy in separation is going through, because the space by which I just said, right, we don't look to partner, we don't look to counterpart to do things, because when we look to counterpart to do things, it's not healthy. But a healthy, like the space by which there's an energetic caveat is the space by which we do something that's better for us in the context of the relationship, is what I keep on getting. This is the caveat is when we do something in relationship that we know is to the energetic betterment of the self. And we and I see that, and this is what's happening in those relationships. They know, like they're doing something in a way that they know it is the energetic right thing to do. The indulgence point. Remember when I said like the space by which they said it would feel very good to do something different? Like they recognize it for what it is, which is an indulgence point, because I feel like I keep on seeing that they're prioritizing they're prioritizing the health of the relationship. They're prioritizing the identification point in relationality to being able to articulate and move through something in such a way that they're able to say to one another. And I keep on seeing I feel like they're almost talking to each other about past versions of self, and almost talking about the comparison point between the fact that they recognize that they're making healthier choices. But I keep on seeing like the space by which they're identifying that they're making healthier choices. It's funny because I almost hear the energy saying, I'm doing it for you. But they recognize that they're not doing it for them. They're doing it for the relationship. Right? It's like I see them being like, it's for us, is what I keep on hearing. But they're almost like creating a space of energetic play, is what I keep on getting, in the space by which they're saying. And I keep on hearing they're saying they're doing it for you, but really like it's very clear that they're doing it for us, because it's a unified energetic system by which they're moving towards partnership. Now this brings through. This is the energy that's moving deep within Divine Union right now. 4th and 5th cards in our 5-card spread. We've got here the 6 of Pentacles in its upright in combination with the 7 of Pentacles in its upright. Now, man, like I keep on like these magician relationships that we're seeing right now. The thing I keep on observing with these magician relationships, and remember, for our purposes, we always read into the energy that most recently entered into Divine Union. So those are effectively the relationships that were coming together between the time of the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. For a lot of these relationships right now, the hard part is they're working through energetic composure. And the thing with being composed is like, and it's funny too, because I feel like the space by which they're working towards composure is, I keep on getting this, like they're being patient. They're remembering. There's like a very nuanced message that's coming through that space, which is understanding that the force of our patience does not become healthy when we look at our patience like something that we're projecting out onto things. Patience is consensual, right? Our patience is healthy when energy knows that they're experiencing it, right? And so that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, I just keep on getting for a lot of the energy doing that work. Like they're working into the space by which they have hope to things, but they identify and they recognize the fact that they're not projecting their patience out onto things, because patience, I keep on getting, patience is reserved to those that understand that they're experiencing it. That's the force by which it makes it something that is healthy. So I feel like for a lot of the energy right now, they're working through composure, and they're also working through repose, which makes a lot of sense, because you'll remember when we right before we had the new moon. Remember I said something's going on with Venus? And I always like to point out, I can read into the energy of the planets, but I'm not an astrologer, so I often have to look back to the astrology to get clarification on what I'm reading for. But I keep on feeling like whenever I get messages related to composure and repose, they're almost always associated with Venus, because it's the observation of being able to hold compassion, right? It's a compassion that we give ourselves, but also the ability to make sure that we're directing our compassion in a way that feels like it is effectively communicating. Our compassion, when it's composed, articulates in healthy communication. So that's why I keep on seeing, and I feel like what's hard about that is that's almost the energy right now, deep within Divine Union, like scrutinizing themselves. Right? Like they're scrutinizing, I keep on hearing like they're scrutinizing themselves, because they're trying to figure out and identify like what's within the context by which they could be doing something better, but also recognizing what's not in their power to effectively adjust or change. So, and I feel like that's what I told you about the fact that I kept on getting the joke that like they like the magicians are effectively finding wisdom because they're observing, right? I keep on hearing the same message, the fact that they're leaving themselves open to a healthy conversation, but they understand that you can't chase after a healthy conversation, because when you try to chase after a healthy conversation, it becomes an uncomfortable confrontation. This brings us back to the energy that's in it's funny too, because I keep on saying separation, but it feels like the word separation feels almost incongruous to the energy that we're effectively working through right now. The energy's not in separation. The energy's in solitude, right? Because separation, I keep on getting, and I feel like this is the conversation that they're having with each other right now. Separation indicates that they're looking at relationship to fill something. And I keep on seeing the energy saying, like, almost working towards the space of understanding that the healthy way to enter into relationship is based upon the mutual fulfillment point. And that's what I keep on. I feel like that is effectively like what I keep on seeing is like, I feel like I keep on getting, these are the conversations with the relationships in separation, talking about the fact that relationship itself shouldn't feel like it's gap filler, is what I keep on getting, right? Like, this is the energy I keep on seeing. Like, there's a lot of that space by which the energy, I keep on hearing like the energy is almost apologizing for the amount of time that it's taking to move towards one another, because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, they're like, I feel like they're finally, like, I'm going to tell you right now, it feels like these moon relationships, I know this is going to sound nuts. It seems like these moon relationships are finally entering the talking phase. They're finally entering the talking phase, because like, it's like, I keep on seeing that for a lot, like, I know, like, we've been like, I listen, I'm also reading into this. I know we've been in this, like, but this is why. It's because they've been holding so much trepidation, trying to release the trauma. I keep on hearing trying to release the trauma of past connection is what I keep on getting. The energy is like, I keep on seeing, and I almost feel like the energy saying, like, you have to forgive me because there was a space by which nothing I said was the correct thing. So they're finally, like, I feel like they're finally learning how to speak again, is what I keep on hearing. They're like, literally, like, oh my goodness. Oh geez. I'm sorry. I'm just reading into these moon relationships. It's, whew, that's a lot of, and that's what I keep on, like, they're finally in the space by which they're, and I almost feel like it's like, I keep on seeing, it's almost like the space by which they're like, I keep on hearing they're apologizing for over apologizing, but they're also giving the context by which they're like, this is what I mean about them giving context in relationality to something that they experienced in the past. Now, continuing to get clarification between the Justice card and the seven of the seven of swords in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify? Yeah, we've got the Hermit card in its upright. I'm not surprised to see it too. Like, and I gotta point out, the thing that's funny about this is when I'm reading, like, the two cards that never like to come out of my own spreads are like the Queen of Swords and the Hermit card. Like, it's like, they don't come out much. But we've got the Hermit card here. Because the thing is, and I need to describe this, like, when we're going through retrograde periods like this, it can feel like a lot of Hermit energy coming through. And the thing with, like, the thing that we work through whenever we're seeing the Hermit card is it's working through the space by which we identify and recognize. And honestly, this is often a card that I associate with Uranus, which makes sense because given the fact that Uranus has been moving back into to Taurus. But like the space by which we are energetically, comfortable with our own progress is what I keep on seeing. And that's what I like about, I like to point this out. And it's funny that this card came out as I was reading for the Temperance relationships, because the Temperance relationships are recognizing right now something that would feel very indulgent for a past version of self to navigate, is what I keep on seeing. For a lot of these relationships, working through something. And I just want to show you these two cards and like look at the look at these two cards together, because you have to take the cards in context of what's beside them. So we've got like a lot of this, we've got a lot of the Hermit energy in Temperance, like talking to each other. And I think it's funny because I keep on seeing the energy that is I keep on hearing they're not going back to a past version of self, but they're finding a lot of enjoyment in articulating to counterpart with exquisite detail what a past version of self would have done in a present like in a present situation, is what I keep on getting. They're regaling each other, right? They're regaling each other with the story, is what I keep on hearing, of what a past version of self would have done in relationality to navigating through something, is what I keep on seeing. But that's why I feel like that's like that. But even in the space by which they're doing that, they're articulating in terms of how far they've come, is what I keep on hearing. But that's why I feel like there's something really beautiful in relationality to that, because I keep on seeing the energy that is sanctifying the partnership. And the reason that they're energetically sanctifying the partnership is the space by which they observe. Like I keep on hearing, like, and I almost feel like it's like they're articulating, and it's a difference, right? And you see the difference between someone doing something through gritted teeth and saying to another person, "I'm only doing this for you." Like that's something that feels toxic. This is the caveat of that experience, right? This is someone that knows that they're making the healthy choice. But then I keep on hearing like they're articulating almost playfully to another upon the fact that a past version of self would be navigating something very differently, right? So there's something very it's harmonious, because they're conversations on the fact that they're prioritizing energetic harmony, right? Now this brings us to the energy that is deep within divine union, those magician relationships, clarification between the Seven of Swords in its upright in combination with the Six of Pentacles in its upright. One card, please. Thank you. We've got here the Page of Swords in its reversal. So the Page of Swords in its reversal, you know, and this is what's like the thing about it. I just got to I got to walk you through this. When it comes to, and this is what we mean in relationality to building upon the observational point of the past. And I keep on seeing the ability to energetically observe the past allows us I keep on hearing, it allows us the modality and experience to be able to energetically articulate upon, or to, I keep on seeing, to effectively identify and recognize how we are, like, I keep on getting this, that like everything about the energy right now deep within divine union is working towards the fact that they recognize that they are energetically composed, because I keep on seeing they're happy to have a conversation, but they're not chasing after it, right? It's the same, and it's hard too, because I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy potentially facilitating or doing that work, I keep on getting it's like the observation in relationality to being able to articulate upon that. And even in the space by which they're potentially building with counterpart, the hard thing about it is I just keep on seeing that they're almost like, I keep on hearing they're going through a pathwork of scrutinizing the self, because, and I keep on getting like the scrutiny of the self can often feel like it's energetically healthy, because the space by which they're scrutinizing something is the space by which I can almost see the fact that they're trying to put some kind of effort towards something, and they're building into the context of another's reassurance in recognizing in terms of another person, almost articulating to them and saying, I don't think you've missed anything there, right? Like I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's hard, because, and I keep on seeing, that's the thing with these retrograde periods, they can do a number on our confidence, right? But what's beautiful about the space by which we're working on, I keep on hearing the space by which we are scrutinizing our confidence is often articulating and amplifying just how much we care about situations. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's difficult, it's painful, but also like I keep on seeing I keep on hearing, like that's what I keep on hearing the energy say, like they're doing things that are logical, but they're refraining from doing anything that feels energetically ridiculous. And in the space by which they refrain from anything that feels energetically ridiculous, they effectively are healing, right? I keep on hearing like they're putting energetic distance towards things, but I keep on seeing like the distance that they're putting towards things is calibrated on hope, but not projecting patience. Now, continuing to get clarification between our Six of Pentacles in its upright and our Seven of Pentacles in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? We've got the Three of Pentacles in its reversal. So let's talk a little bit about the Three of Pentacles in its reversal. It's really nice to see for moon relationships, because the space that we understand and we see what the moon relationships are working upon, I keep on getting that there is a power or a force of energetic observation towards, I keep on getting the space by which we articulate and we work to understand something from a point of clarity. And what's happening with a lot of those new relationships is I almost feel like this is the energy that's like, and I keep on hearing there's almost something about these moon relationships right now hitting the apex of the retrograde actually feels like a good thing, is what I keep on getting, because I feel like the space by which we hit the apex of a retrograde can often create the context by which we can reflect upon things. And I'm not surprised to see the fact that a lot of the energy working through those moon lessons is building upon the conversation built upon healthy reflection, right? We work towards healthy reflection because the observation or the space by which we identify and articulate upon that, it feels fortifying and it feels sustaining. And that's why I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing this work, the space by which they're identifying each other is they're identifying the fact that when things happen, they reflect upon them, right? It's like they reflect upon them. And they're having conversations based upon and built upon those reflections. But I keep on hearing it's a healthy space for reflection when we're not projecting, because when we have a healthy space for reflection by which we're not projecting, it creates the observation of being able to ascertain and identify what it is that they're trying to achieve in partnership. And so I keep on seeing that, and I keep on hearing like the conversation that they're having upon that is the fact that it needs to be a unified vision, is what I keep on getting. It's like they're having conversations upon unified visions, and the space by which they're having a conversation upon unified visions is, I keep on hearing, and this is what I mean. Like I am trying to like unravel like what was happening in some of those past experiences by which they're healing from. In healthy partnership, we don't look to each other for directions. We articulate upon what that direction is, right? We articulate and build upon it together. So there's a lot of that space by which I keep on getting. It's the amplification of that they're building into right now in sharing their vision with each other. And I keep on hearing like the space by which it was taking time to effectively articulate it. I keep on seeing I keep on getting that's a lot of the energy that is working upon healing from circumstances or situations by way and by which another person, right? I keep on getting like the pedestalized partnership that was often creating the space by which it felt like nothing they could, and this is why we can't get anywhere when someone is constantly projecting upon us, because when someone's constantly projecting upon us, there's no room to allow for an energetic vision to occur, because it's the space by which another person is constantly almost forcing one to recalibrate. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy right now, like that observational point, like being able to articulate that, I feel like that in itself feels like it's a breakthrough, because I keep on getting the energy is building into the context by which they're feeling that. I keep on hearing like the space by which it feels good to talk about something is the space by which they're able to allow the context of something to energetically flourish. So it's like it's a lot of that type of energy that we're seeing here on the other side of this new moon cycle that we just experienced. Now, continuing to get clarification between the Five of Cups in its reversal and the Hermit card in its upright. Coming back towards those temperance relationships, the thing about it is, it's interesting because I'm kind of seeing that for the temperance relationships right now, they're talking about something because they're letting it go, is what I keep on getting. Now, the reason I keep on seeing this, like the fact that they're talking about something because they're letting it go, is because they're saying to each other, look how much I've grown, right? Like I can see this energy that is almost like working through a circumstance or situation where they're regaling counterpart with what the old self would have done, is what I keep on hearing. They're like, that's the space by which they're articulating how much they've grown in partnership, because they're almost regaling to each other the space by which what the past version of self would have done, is what I keep on seeing. It's like the energy. It's just the energy that's like that in itself. And that's what I keep on getting in the space. And I remember I said that they're going through the caveat of what it actually feels like when another person does something for us that feels beneficial to partnership, right? The sanctified partnership by which, when we articulate the fact that we're doing things, we don't feel angry about it. We articulate to another and say, like, look how much, like they're almost saying, like, look how much they've grown, because they themselves are proud of the fact that they're accomplishing it, is what I keep on hearing. Continuing to get clarification between our Hermit card in its upright in combination with the Page of Swords in its reversal. One card to clarify, please. We've got here the seven of Cups in its reversal. So speaking towards the Seven of Cups in its reversal, and this is interesting too, because we've got, hold on a minute, we've got three different sevens in today's read, and that's intriguing because the space, the thing that we keep on, the thing with like a lot of sevens, and I think that it's important towards like the thing that's important towards these sevens is the space by which we identify, and we're coming back towards the energy that's deep within divine union right now, or those magician relationships. This is what I mean in terms of a lot of the energy deep within divine union, kind of being in, I keep on hearing like working into the context of identifying, like I keep like, and I get so frustrated when I read into this energy right now, deep within divine union, because while I articulated upon the fact that I see that the temperance relationships are saying to each other and speaking with a point of like happiness in relationality to how much they've grown, it's more painful for the energy right now deep within divine union, because I almost feel like there's something that is being observed by energy deep within divine union that is almost, I keep on getting like amplifying or articulating upon. I just keep on getting the same message. Like, it's almost like I keep on seeing like, it's almost like the space by which another person identifies or recognizes. Like I keep on seeing the energy, like I feel like the way I gotta describe what I'm seeing here for the energy deep within divine union. When we are in healthy relationship, we're supposed to change, right? It's the observation point of the fact that we maturate, and when we build into that maturation point, it feels beautiful. But the rigor in relationality to the energy deep within divine union, recognizing how much they have changed, but then simultaneously and similarly working through the context or the situation of what happens when another person clings. I keep on hearing when another person clings to an old version of self that makes it impossible for them to energetically see or appreciate the reality in relationality to what another person, like how another person has grown or how another person has changed. So everything I keep on seeing in those modalities or experiences, it feels like I keep on seeing like I feel like the energy it's beautiful because the energy almost is articulating upon the fact that they're in that point of composure, because I almost feel like they're almost articulating to their counterpart the conversation that they would love to have with another person, right? They're having the conversation on what they wish they could, the conversation they wish they could have, but then hoping, I keep wondering, like hoping the day comes that another person is ready to energetically meet them in the observation of being able to have, like I keep on seeing the energy being like, and that's why I keep on seeing, it's like they're almost like they're working through that release by having those conversations with each other, right? It's like I keep on getting it. It's like it's painful, but I keep on hearing they're getting a lot of that mutual reassurance and relationality to those contexts. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Three of Pentacles in its reversal. We've got the Page of Cups in its upright. So let's talk a little bit about the Page of Cups in its upright in the context of the energy, the temperance relationships. The thing I keep on seeing, and I keep on getting, like, actually we're going back into the energy that's that's in solitude right now. So for a lot of the relationships right now that are working in solitude, I just keep on seeing, and this is it. Like, this is what I keep on seeing. The hard part about this is I literally see some energy in solitude working into the context of healing from situations where another person was articulating separation, because articulating separation indicates the fact that you're energetically looking, right? You're looking for something in another to fulfill something. And so I just keep on seeing like the conversations that, and this is why it's taking these relationships so long to come together, is what I keep on seeing. They're taking so long to come together because I almost hear the energy apologizing and saying like they're very much in the space by which they energetically shield from relationships by which another person is operating in the context of effectively identifying or recognizing the fact that we don't look towards each other for fulfillment. We find energetic fulfillment within ourselves. And when we have fulfillment in ourselves and we bring our fulfillment together, it becomes observations of mutual celebration, is what I keep on seeing. It's like I keep on getting, it's like the space by which something feels energetically productive, or something that feels like, I keep on hearing like something that feels like it's energetically calibrated in a positive way. But I keep on getting that the reason that a lot of those, like I keep wondering, the reason that these moon relationships are coming together so slowly is because they're almost in, like I keep on getting they're in the experience of having been energetically pedestalized, is what I keep on seeing. And I keep on getting, like, when one is trying to heal from a situation by which one is being energetically pedestalized, it can sometimes create that space by which it takes a lot of time to build into healthy relationship again, because I almost see the space by which another person is learning, like they're relearning how what it feels like to be in a relationship by which it feels like they can speak freely without there being some kind of form of energetic consequence, is what I keep on getting. Like there's a lot of that. I just keep on getting, like, this is what I mean in terms of the relationships or working through something in that way. I just keep on seeing that these relationships, it's like I feel like these are the energies that are like learning how to breathe again. You know what I mean? Like that's what I mean in relationality to this. Now, continuing to get clarification between our Six of Swords in combination with our Seven of Cups in its reversal. Can I get one card to clarify? Yeah, especially with the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles in its upright. Um, the Queen of Pentacles in its upright often works into the context of, and we're going to talk a little bit about that temperance energy that we're seeing, because the Queen of Pentacles in its upright is often the amplification point in terms of feeling the stabilization, in terms of feeling energetically protective about something. And I feel like it's beautiful too, because I keep on seeing that those relationships are having conversations upon, I keep wondering, it's interesting too, it's like the temperance relationships are having conversations on healing overly protective tendencies, is what I keep on getting, right? And I keep on hearing that they're building into the space of understanding that protectiveness is not defensiveness. Protectiveness is energetic creativity. It's the space by which we do something in a way that allows us to show how much we energetically protect something, right? It's like I keep on getting that for a lot of that energy. I just keep on seeing this. Like I keep wondering, they're protecting each other in the best way possible. But what's beautiful about that is they're protecting each other from their past tendencies, is what I keep on hearing. And the reason I keep on getting that, though, is I just keep on seeing that it's working into the context by which they're talking to each other upon the fact that they're healing from some trauma. Like they're recognizing their own inclinations in terms of how they may have felt energetically reactive to things in the past. But I keep on seeing like the space by which they amplify or articulate. And I like to point this out. It's like they're almost like they're amplifying to each other the lack of perfection, right, of the past version of self. And they're almost like, I keep on seeing, they're referring back to it, even in the context by which they're showing each other, in the space by which they articulate upon what a past version of self would have done, is the amplification in terms of how much they themselves have changed, or what it is that they're working upon in a better way. So I feel like there's a lot of that space by which I keep on seeing, it's like they're almost showing each other how proud they are of themselves. But I keep on seeing that the humor of it is, it's the pride of the self, but really it's the amplification of the pride of what they're sharing with counterpart, right? Like it's continuation of that process, continuing to get clarification between our Seven of Cups in its reversal in combination with the Page of Cups in its upright. We've got the Hanged Man in its reversal. Now, let's talk a little bit about this for the energy deep within divine union, because, you know, I just keep, like, the energy, like, I keep on seeing this with the energy deep within divine union, is like, I just keep on seeing them, like, working, like, it's like, I see the fact, like, it's interesting too. I feel like it's them working through not allowing oneself to get energetically distracted by something that is absurd, is what I keep on getting. You know, and I feel like the space by which we recognize that, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of that energy, the space by which we work to, and I keep on getting this with these magician relationships, like working through another person's unresolved feelings is not our responsibility. And this is why I keep on hearing that this is what's happening in those, and this is why I keep on seeing them kind of like working through a modality of composure, because it's continuation of what's been coming through a lot in relationality to healing the space of our emotions. Our emotions are not, we don't honor our emotions just by talking about the fact that we have them. When we introspect upon our emotions and we understand the determination point on terms of why we feel the way we do, that is the moment that we start to honor our emotions, right? Because we've done the work of refining the emotions before we make them the problem of others. Often, When someone is energetically projecting, they just articulate the fact that they have emotions for a reason or cause to energetically do something. And this is why we always say we never work in that modality. There's nothing more dangerous than to say that you do something because you're energetically upset. Because when all you're saying, like when you say that to you're like the brain is a beautiful machine. When you tell the brain, oh, I feel upset, you're basically saying, if I'm upset, I can do anything. You're going to suddenly find yourself upset about everything. Okay, everything is going to energetically upset you because you just put that, like you put that logic into the machine of the self. So that's why we do the work to energetically fortify upon our emotions. And the space by which we process through our emotions is to understand why we feel the way we feel, right? Why something articulates upon it. And that ability of doing so allows us to be able to articulate the emotions and then allow the emotions to become gifts, right? Because when we figure out, when we refine upon how we feel, right? And then we say to another person, I feel like this, but guess what? Here's the fix to it. We become like each other's salvation. Okay, it becomes very easy, right? But when we're not in a good place, we often just go around handing people emotions and being like, I feel like this. What are you going to do about it? Right? And that is the shape of trauma. Right? That is literally the shape of trauma where we take the things, right? We take the mechanism by which is supposed to allow for the introspection, but instead we try to offload it upon others. That's where it becomes something that it doesn't become productive. We can't do anything with them, right? It just becomes, and then we waste all of this bandwidth trying to deal with each other's emotions instead of doing the work to fortify the emotions that allow us to be able to operate in a space by which we can do things more effectively. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing this, like that modality or that experience, having productive conversations in the realm of the emotions, I almost see the energy that's doing the legwork, right? It's the energy like doing the legwork, like within the self to articulate upon what it is that they could be doing more effectively. But then even in the space by which they do it, I feel like the fact that they have that energetic support around them, it's amplifying and showing them exactly, like I keep on seeing, they recognize their own force of composure that's allowing them to do something more effectively. Final card for today's spread between the Queen of Pentacles and the Hangman is the High Priestess in its reversal. And here's the thing about it. I don't feel negative when we see the High Priestess in its reversal, because the thing you need to recognize and identify is the force of intention by which we are able to navigate or effectively articulate upon the projections that others have about us versus who we find ourselves to be. As I mentioned, there's a lot of energetic healing that's happening right now in the context of pedestalization. Right? This is why pedestalization is so negative or detrimental, because when we're building into healthy relationships, we don't look to each other for salvation. We look towards what it is that we can do together, right? We look towards the direction of something that allows the concept by which something can get done. So I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy doing that work, having those modalities or experiences, or potentially even articulating upon the frustration point that often arrives in the space. And I keep on hearing, like, this is how we heal from the false premise of blame, right? Because it's the space by which, when we're projecting, we try to articulate upon things, and the space by which we try to push it upon others, right? And the space by which we do that, it allows for the observation in terms of what it is that we're trying to do more effectively to get something done. So I feel like there's something really significant and valuable and I kept on saying, like, don't let, like, this retrograde energy can be absolutely beautiful in the space of finding constructive, creative ways of overcoming things, right? But I guarantee you right now, if you spend this entire retrograde feeling like working through frustration, I guarantee you're just going to find more frustration. You go around looking for frustration, you'll find frustration everywhere. When we recognize that everybody is feeling energetically frustrated, now we're energetically getting somewhere, right? You're not the only person. I keep on getting, don't get upset because, and that's the hard part about it. With this type of retrograde, we've got Chiron and Eris almost directly on top of each other, which often can be the moment something coincidental feels very directed to the self. But I keep on seeing, allow for the space by which one is able to identify and recognize how one is able to do something more effectively to be the breakthrough in terms of how to get things done. Bottom of the deck on this reading, especially with the page of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, right? And I feel like this is a lot of the work that we do as it relates to working on healing. I keep on hearing, and it's funny too, because it's interesting because it has like a conversation as it relates to the space by which we work through scrutiny, right? Because when we are working through something in such a way, I keep on saying it's very easy to get into the space by which we overly internalize. It's the space by which this type of energy, like I'm just articulating this for you, type of energy is built to sometimes make us get too much in our own headspace about things, right? And here's the thing about it, like often we can get into those energetic loops of worry that don't allow us to get anything done. So if you're feeling like that in this retrograde period, allow one sense of energetic purpose to help you move through it, right? Focus on your purpose. And if you don't feel like you have one, like let this be the retrograde that helps you cultivate one, right? Because often, and I feel like that's the hard part with retrograde energy like this, like working through the nonsense of the self. The nonsense is always there. The purpose energetically guides us. So when you're feeling a lot of those things coming up right now in these retrograde cycles, don't get hard on yourself. Like orient on your purpose again. I know that sounds easy. I know it's not easy, but the more that one is able to identify that, it helps us be able to move through something in a way that allows us to get something done. That is where we find that is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you'd like to book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site, so I'd encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we move into personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everybody who attended our Sun class that we had earlier this week. If you'd like to find that class, it is now available on our subscriber only Disco channel. It's available on the Stack for our subscribers. If you'd like to become a part of that tarot class program, you can do so. Our next class it's a great time to join because our next class will be next month, December 18th, I believe, on a Thursday at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be focusing our studies in the tarot on the Judgment card. And if you'd like to become a part of that tarot class, your subscription gives you access. Your monthly subscription will give you access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my stack, not only will you receive a discount on the whole year's worth of readings, you'll also be able to have an access to over 20 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. You'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in relation to anything we have learned and studied thus far. One of the things I've tried to do in these classes is make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become Even if you don't become a subscriber to my Stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also have access to my Mystic meditation articles, which give you updates on what we've been seeing energetically in article form bi-monthly. One of the things I also want to let you guys know that on top of I also want to invite you guys to a new retreat that is now available that I am going to be hosting, that is going to be an exploration of tarot in Italy. We're going to kind of do a lot of investigation in terms of why we don't know the origin of the cards, but we do know that Italy is where the cards found a home. And so we're going to be doing a lot of investigation as to the context by which where we found the cards, understanding the mythos symbolism of the cards through the context of the landscape that we discovered the cards within. If you would like to become a part of that retreat as well, you can simply head over to my tree that has Binks in it in my bio. You'll find all of the information there. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again.